Hello everyone. Welcome to Back to Basics Piano Teacher Training Program. Video number 24, I believe. We're really getting up there, aren't we? I'm Marlene Moore, and I am the creator of the Back to Basics Piano Program. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, please join us. It's called Back to Basics Piano Teacher Training Program. And I will give you a hint though, if you want to join, you have to answer the 4 questions. You cannot get into the group without answering the 4 questions. And that there's a reason for that, is that I need to know who you are. I need to know that you are a piano teacher and where you live. And it's important because the integrity of this program is very important to me, and who comes into the group, we want to be honest and above board and to answer the questions. They're not hard questions. Okay, book 7. We left off at Tchaikovsky's song, and we are now on Allegretto. So if you could turn to page 9 in your book. You're going to need books 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and some of the complementary books as well. So send for those if you haven't done so already. Allegretto by Churny. I like Churny. Do you? Good finger exercise. And then the Waltzing Fingers by Churny. I think I had a couple of mistakes in there, but that's okay. That's the general idea of it. A matching game down at the bottom, matching the notes. And you've got 4 eighth notes here, and you're to match that to 2 quarter notes or whatever goes with it. The children like those. They like those. Leopold Mozart, who was Mozart's father, and his little minuet. Sorry. I'm wondering if I turn this more this way, if I will see better. Ah, yes. There we go. I hope that doesn't bother your view. I've got new glasses and I'm having trouble with them, trouble getting used to them. We'll start again. I'm sure you've heard that one before. I would teach this by sight. Again, put it into the little small steps. Maybe the first step would be here. Oh, sorry. Which is step 1. Step 2 might be. And then do the same thing for the left hand. But you know, that's not written in stone. You can put the steps anywhere you want to. It isn't just what I say is important. I'm not going to play all of this, but this is a piece we never did know who wrote it. I arranged it. It was given to me by, I used to teach the piano, the new piano teachers live in groups. And there were, I believe, in Canada, there were about 58 of them who graduated as Back to Basics piano teachers. Still are. And one of the teachers gave me this manuscript that she had found in her attic. She thought maybe her great aunt had written it, but she wasn't sure. So we don't know. I just arranged it and put it into this book. It's quite pretty. The children do like this one. Adults do too. G major. And it's way up here. You can teach it down here if you want. This way. But if it's a music box, it's called music box, so it really should be, when it's in finished form, it should be up higher. And it goes on and on. It's a pretty little thing. I had fun arranging that. I wish we knew who wrote it. Then we've got Marching by Churny. Repeat. And of course, it's going to go faster once the children know it, right? And adults. I keep saying children. You know, you can teach adults right from the beginning, too. I've asked that question a lot. What about adult beginners? Whenever I've had an adult beginner, I put them into Back to Basics Book 1. And I tell them, you know, when we learn something, we need to learn as young children. Do you mind if we learn children's pieces? And every one of them have said, no, I don't mind. I realize I have to learn like a child. There are adult books, but, you know, you're still not going to get that wrist movement. You're still not going to get the repertoire consistently growing the way it should. So I've always put my adults into the Back to Basics Book 1. So I keep saying children, but I mean adults as well. I would speed this up as fast as possible to get the fingers moving a bit better. And so on. I would get it moving. No, and when they're ready, of course. When they're ready. Bluebells of Scotland, everybody knows that one. In G major. Now at the bottom, page 15, you've got Scales with Sharps. You've all heard that one. You can all play that, I'm pretty sure. All right, Theme in D minor by Beethoven, which is one of my very favorite themes. I've slowed it down because it's in the middle of a great big long sonatina. And I always think that this part has been overlooked. It needs to be slowed down and embellished a little bit, I believe. We're in D minor. Do you know your cadences? That's what I'm playing here. They're in the Brown book. scales, chords, and arpeggios. I like the pedal in this Beethoven D minor theme. Isn't that beautiful? That to me is just a magnificent theme. Beethoven had some wonderful melodies, didn't he? Teach that with love. It has so much love in it. Sadness too, but there can be love in sadness too. I've learned that in my life. Slowly. And I would put the pedal in it. If the child or adult is ready for the pedal, go for that. Down at the bottom of page 17, it shows us F major and D minor scale. Do you know about relative minors? I think you do. D minor is the relative of F major. I used to tell the kids, it's the cousin. They'd say, what relative? I'd say, it's the cousin. And we know how to find that from F major. We go down 1, 2, 3 tones, right? 1 tone, half tone, 2 half tones, 3 half tones. Okie doke. Lily Waltz. I had a student once named Lily. She thought this was for her. This was the Lily Waltz. G major. I would do it as a sight piece. It goes on a little more. It's a sight piece, easy to read. Then jig. This is my jig, written in C minor. Tunes up the ears when you play the scale and the cadence at the end. I haven't played this one for a long time, but we'll give it a shot. That was fun. This piece has to be memorized. You need to be looking down here. Don't make them look up here for every note. I would teach this partly by rote. Teach them the patterns. That's it. It's based on a 4-note form of C minor, right? Teach them that 4-note form. Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, what is a 4-note form? Maybe they call them a different name in other countries, but in Canada, I learned it as a 4-note form. And what it is a triad with a hat on the top. C, E flat, G with the C on the top. And that, maybe it has other names, but I learned it as a 4-note form. The triad of C, E flat, G, and then the tonic note right here, C. So, and then the second inversion, third inversion, back to the beginning. And the fingering is 3, 4, 4, 3. In the middle, 4, 4, 3. If you don't know about 4-note forms, look it up in the Brown Book. That's our Bible. The Brown Book is our teaching Bible for pedagogy, for technique. Make sure they can do this before you go ahead and do the rest. So important, so important. Down at the bottom on page 29, if you look in your book, or page 20 rather, if you look in your book, we've got the stop, think, go signs. So important. You can make little stickers, you know, that say stop, think, go. Little tiny stickers. Or just write it in with a red ball. That's what I used to do. I used to take a red pen and write it in wherever the stop, think, go spot was. And then, you know, use the steps. That's a good place to use the steps. Where is step 9? Where's step 12? Okay, let me check our time. The only way I can check it is to look in here. Oh, we're doing very well. Very, very well. Yes, we can keep going. This is Long, Long Ago, written by Bailey. I think we've all played this at one time. And so on. I would do that as a sight piece. Teach them the left hand first. Teach the chords. There's only 3. Yeah, that's it. And then we're into Happy Farmer. Some people have not been too happy with Happy Farmer. I've heard it played so many atrociously terrible ways. And you know, it's easy if you think of it as the left hand is the farmer. Here's the farmer. He's 7 feet tall and he's got big boots and he is so huge. He's big. And he says, ho, 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 it's off to work I go. Ho, 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 ho. Nuts, but it works. And here are the little mice. Little mice watching the Happy Farmer. Squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, squeak. Because I've heard it played differently. I've heard it played like this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, the Happy Farmer part is the loud part. The little squeaky mice are the right part. Ho, ho. Now we've got the farmer really moving around and the little chords each time are still the mice. Did you hear those mice? They weren't stomping around like the 7-foot farmer with the size 20 boots. They were just in the field picking up little things and singing with the farmer. he's going ho ho and they're going squeak squeak. He can barely hear them. Maybe the farmer doesn't even know that they're there. And that's what we want to learn is they're not there very, very. Mr. Schumann here, Robert Schumann didn't want the mice to be 300 pounds each. He wanted them to be like, 3 or 4 ounces each. Very, very tiny. Did you see how I did, we're going down to the third measure, the third stanza, third line, and where I put my hands together. Now I'm taking my 2 thumbs, just my thumbs, and I've got 1 thumb on B flat and 1 on C. Because that's a hard passage to play. I'll do that again. Thumbs only. And then back to the melody. And staccato. It's marked staccato, but I hear it like this all the time. Ugh. Don't like that. Anyway, that is the way I learned it many, many, many years ago. These ideas are not completely my own. I've picked them up as I went through life so far, and I hope that helps you. Now we're into the Troubadour, page 23. I think we've all had this one at one point. Maybe not. You never know. It says marching style, folk song. That repeats, and then it goes into and then the ending the same as the beginning of that part. I would teach that as a sight piece. It's not a really, really big piece. Have you ever noticed that in the Back to Basics repertoire in every book, there's an easy piece, a more difficult piece, then an easy piece, then a more difficult piece? I don't know if you noticed that or not. That's on purpose. That's the psychology of it. We don't want anybody to give up. Some people like a challenge, but there's the challenge and then the release. The challenge and then the release. This takes us up to Sonotina by Louis Kohler. And this is a fun sonatina to do. A sonatina is a little sonata. G major, it says no pedal. Minor goes into E minor now. And on and on and on. And it is actually 2 pages, and then that part repeats. I would teach this partly by rote, partly sight reading. So important, so important. Don't make them sight read every note if they're not good sight readers. Okay? Let's check our time. I need a stopwatch or something here, don't I? All right, we've got 2 minutes left. So that takes care of Sonotina. Have fun with it. Remember, it goes from G major into E minor. Bourrée by Bach. I need a different kind of a light here. I wonder if I pull this guy forward. That might do the trick. It's a combination of old age, new glasses, and insufficient light. Isn't that all something to be bothered about? All right, we are in A minor. I think I learned Bourrée in one of the primary levels, but I put it into this book because there's a lot to it. And it's Bach. C sharp. Fun piece. Have you learned that one? I learned that years and years and years ago. My ears aren't tuned up for that one anymore. And then Fury-Lise. Some teachers can't stand Fury-Lise because so many students have made a mess of it. All you have to do is tune into YouTube and write in Fury-Lise, and you can listen to many disasters and many good ones. Can you tell the difference? Boy, I sure hope so. This is supposed to flow. Beethoven wanted it to flow. It's not a literal banging of the keys like some of his. It's not like that. This is for Elise. It's another girl that he fell in love with, I believe. And so on. You know the piece. I did not put the second section in this. If you want to teach the second section of Fury-Lise, that's up to you and up to the competency of your student. It is a hard part. This is just put in here because it's about a book 7 rendition. That's why I only did this far. Where is it? I end it here. Okay, then we've got Churny, run and hop. Run and hop. Here we are. Oh, it's up here. Way up here. That's fine. You can teach it here if you want. You can do that. Okay, we're going to leave off at the Telemann Fantasia in D major. I think you should practice this one. I know I need to. I think we've all played that one. That's fun. So, for our next video, we will start on, there's only 2 pieces. So, yep, 2 pieces left for us to do in book 7, which is Minuet by Handel, and a beautiful piece called Remembering by my student from long ago, whose name was Rachel Lilly, and I published her piece. That's been fun today. I've had a good time reminiscing on book 7. I hope you'll get book 7 out and practice it and practice it and practice it and think of ways that you can inspire your students. I'd like to hear about that. That would be wonderful. Bye for now.